Welcome back. I'm Reverend John David Duke Jr. Oh, should button the top button. A little bit too much t-shirt there. Uh, Pastor of Concordia Lutheran Church in Newfane, New York, and pastor of that's not a Concordia, St. John Lutheran Church in Youngstown, New York. Beautiful Niagara County. Also, I'm the part-time Old Testament professor at Concordia Lutheran Theological Seminary in St. Catharines, Ontario, which is in a foreign place. What do we want to do today? Let's take a look at Elijah, someone real, as opposed to there's some apostasy right there, right? Let's be done with the visions for a while. That's crazy, kooky stuff, isn't it? More real, as C.S. Lewis would say, more real than we are. But let's do Elijah at the Mount of Mount Sinai, Mount Horeb. They're the same place. We're starting kind of with Elijah last first, next to last thing first. I have my reasons, but here we go. So it's 1 Kings 19. Let's read together just for a little bit here. I can't see. Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, how he had killed all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, "So may the gods do to me and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by this time tomorrow." So Elijah was afraid, and he arose and ran for his life. And we're going to skip ahead a little bit, but there's the scene. He's just done the thing with the prophets of Baal, and he thought everything was going to be hunky-dory, and everybody was going to say, oh, well, I guess Elijah's the real prophet. And it turns out they didn't say that. They wanted to kill him too. Now, he gets to Sinai, Horeb, just like Moses, which kind of says what his mental state is at this point. And he got into this cave, and the word of the Lord came to him, and he said, "What are you doing here, Elijah? I've been very jealous for the Lord," etc., and so on and so forth. And God says, "Okay, go out and stand on the mount before Yahweh." So let's do that. Let's just take a moment and get the picture in mind here. So let's draw. Let's see. Let's not draw the whole mountain. Let's draw like a mountainside to kind of give us a kind of base to do the rest of the stuff from. So I'm going to try to start over in the other 2/3, and we're going to draw a brown mountain, because I imagine they're brown. All right, get a brush here. Let's see, so a brown mountainside. So let's get going here. Right, oh yeah, that looks pretty good. And then we're going to make a little ledge here for him to stand on with the cave here. And up we go. So let's give him a hole. I think we want to draw a hole here. This will be fun. A little mountainside cave we're drawing. It's interesting that this is what he wanted to do, and that's kind of why I wanted to visit this story. There we go. And then fill that in with black. Paint it black, as the Rolling Stones would say. Yep. There we go. And so he comes out to stand. And let's do a little stick figuring here, just to get him started. He's going to stand here like so. Now let's put some robes on him. You gotta have robes, don't you? And let's make him kind of, you know what? Yeah, gray is the right color, because that's what happens when you're traveling. And there's his robe. There we go. And let's have him have a hand down like this. Now he's kind of whining. If you didn't pick that up, they're all after me. Wah. And you can kind of understand it, because they were after him, which is interesting, right? Give him some hands here. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. And I'm going to erase that line there. And some sandals on his feet there. There, those are the best feet I think I've ever drawn. Let's see, he's going to have a mantle on, right? let's see, kind of dark red, and we'll just paint that on, right? Because he wears the mantle of Elijah. And this is the thing that Elisha's going to get, which is coming up soon, and give him a nice collar. There we go. Right. Oh, this is not so bad. Am I at the right thing there? Oh, yes, you're seeing all this. Wonderful. And now I got to give him eyes and stuff. And I imagine we always like to see Elijah with a big beard. Oh, a big nose, yes. So let's draw a big beard on him. Do we want to have one like Jack has from Twitter? Or just a nice full beard like we kind of have him in the picture books that we have? Good. Is Elijah young or old now? We don't know, do we? So let's make him with a big head of hair, too. All right, there we go. So he's got a lot of hair. Make his eyes a little better. All right, so there's Elijah. Make your ears. Shoop. Not bad. Now he's standing out there, and he has just been told to go out there. He had his cloak up over his face, whining, right? And then let's get the thing in order. So picking up where we left. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind tore the mountains and broke in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. Yahweh, right? If you know me, you know Yahweh versus the Lord. So we got to have these rocks broken. All right. So how are we going to do that? There's our brown color. There's our brush. How do I want to do that? See, so let's get some rocks breaking. So they're going to, I wonder if they're going to fall. So let's get, there we go. So rocks have fallen and are breaking. So like that, right? Yeah, I think I like that. And they're going to miss him because of the providence of God. They're not going to hit him, right? But now we have rocks on the table. Oops, boy, that didn't work. We have rocks on the table, right? And let's get a bunch more of them falling because this is fun. Now, as I talk to you, I'm talking to you as grown-ups generally, and I'm just trying to get you to slow down and see these pictures, right? I'm drawing these rocks after asteroids, by the way. But what you should do at home is do the same thing I'm doing and talk to your kids and get the picture in their head, you know? Just stop everything. Look, the rocks fell and mountains were quaking. So let's draw some mountains, a mountain range off of here somewhere. You know, use your art skills. I'm not very good at it myself, and I'm going to try a little something here. There we go. And they're shaking and quaking, right? And rocks are falling down. And so we have all sorts of stuff happening here, rolling and tumbling. And notice a common theme to all the things I've been drawing so far is that if you take the time to put them in motion, you'll see a dynamic picture, as it's called, right? That things, it's not static. Something's happening in these pictures, and you're supposed to pause and get the rocks falling. May have overdone it. It looks like Charlie Brown's ghost costume, right? So let's, I'm going to gray up a couple of these things here and use this brush here, a little smaller, yep, and get some shadows going. Except maybe the other way. I don't want these, yeah, like more like this. Why is it not doing what I want? You're supposed to practice this stuff. That's what I want. All right. And so there's darkness and stuff. Yeah, now we got it. And the shadows of the ones beside them are really kind of making it dark. And you got to go faster, right? Because I'm trying to go short. But you get the point, right? Yeah, show those shadows there. Shadows. And earth's vain shadows flee. Oh, Lord, abide with me. That kind of stuff, right? There we go. No shadows there, but a shadow here, maybe. Right? He's fallen into shadow. And another one here. And so you get to kind of talk about the story and think about it. I'm not trying to do razzle dazzle here. I'm just trying to get you to slow down and do it with me. Slow it down. Get your own paint out and get or your own pad of paper and whatnot. And do it yourself, right? Have some fun with me while we're doing all this. And so the rocks are falling and being shattered. But Yahweh wasn't in there either. And that was, by the way, a wind, strong wind. After the wind, an earthquake. But Yahweh wasn't in the earthquake. How do we draw an earthquake, little boys and little girls? I don't know. Aren't you supposed to use these squiggly things here? You know, like this is motion. Oh, and that reminds me, you're supposed to add these things, right? My kids are going crazy. It's after nap time and before dinner when I'm recording this. And now you've got the motion squiggles from cartoons, right? These are things you learn by reading newspaper cartoons your whole life with comic strips, right? And I should show some of these bouncing down. Whoa, Calvin and Hobbes, my great teacher when it comes to squiggles. I messed that one up though, right? There you go. You have an earthquake, but Yahweh isn't in the earthquake either. How's Elijah feeling now? Not very good. Back to the Bible for just a second. After the earthquake, a fire. More fire. Oh man, but Yahweh isn't going to be in the fire. But I want to try to draw fire this time. Let's get better at our art here, right? Like I said. So we have fire. I wish I could mix it with orange somehow. Let's see if I can do this. So we're going to have fire, right? And then that's your basic fire. And let's turn to yellow. We're going to have yellow flames, right? I'm a fan of orange in fires. So yeah, like so. Orange tongues of flame. It doesn't look very much like fire. I gotta work on my fire. So like if I drew fire in a vacuum, it'd be more like this. There we go. I mean, I feel like every boy should know how to draw fire because you have to decorate your car, your first muscle car. I'm getting there. Add a little red highlights there, so make it. Maybe use the other brush. Yeah. Again, we're thinking about Elijah seeing all this fire, and Yahweh isn't in there. You know what the next one is, because we all know this story, and it's a beloved story of ours, oftentimes taken out of context, but it's still beloved. And it says, after the earthquake of fire, but Yahweh was not in the fire, and after the fire, the sound of a low whisper. How do you draw a low whisper? I know how I'm going to draw it. I know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to draw something very, very light. In fact, yeah, that's good. And I'm going to keep my big brush with a small size. And this is what I'm going to draw. From the fire is going to rise a figure of some sort. And I'm going to make it somewhere like this, right? And that's the arms, and there's his kind of smoky robe. There we go. All right, I'm going to have that. And I'm going to give him ephemeral kind of hands. There we go. And we're going to give him a lot of hair and a beard, because it's God, right? And he's going to talk in a really low whisper. I'm going to keep that color, but I'm going to switch to a pencil just to kind of add some detail. And I don't want to make him goofy. I mean, all this is kind of goofy because it's cartoonish, right? But let's be serious a little bit, right? And this is the sound of the low whisper, right? You've got a God who wants Elijah to settle down. And I'm doing a little meaning here instead of effect. You got a God who wants his prophet to settle down. And when everyone else is upset, he needs to be calm and understand that God speaks softly. And he is not often found in big events. You don't go looking for him in big earthquakes and hurricanes and such. You look for him in a basic declaration that he loves you and he wants you to hear very gently, repentance is pretty daily and ordinary, and he preserves that when there's fires, earthquakes, tempests. You always have a word that says, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And this is something Elijah didn't want to hear. And oftentimes we don't like to hear it. We want things to move. And we put it in motion ourselves. Dissatisfied with these basic declarations. And that's exactly what happened to Elijah, is he kind of lost his job as head prophet, and Elisha took over to a limited degree until God was ready to bring Elisha forward after Elijah was carried into heaven. And from there, from this point, Elijah basically goes back to the 7,000 who did not bow the knee to Baal. And he gives them sort of this a daily job. Nothing spectacular. Just take it easy, Elijah. There's nothing really bad happening because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And it's a kingdom of grace for the most part, especially for those who have not bowed the knee to Baal. So there you go. A little something for you as a Bible study. Consider these things. The contrast. It's what I was going for when I started this, is let's draw big rocks falling. Let's try to figure out a way to draw fire. I got to work on my fire. I think I can draw better with a pencil and then fill it in. And then somehow figure out a way to draw a gentle whisper and contrast those things. It's for the benefit of prophets, which is the benefit of your pastors, by the way. But you should encourage your pastors. Hey, pastor, just take it easy. It's going to be okay. I hope you've enjoyed this. We'll see you next time.